Okay, so these are these spare wheels that white work truck came with. And on the back side, they were super rusty and crusty. But what I've done is I've just taken a wire wheel brush with the drill and go all around in here with it, get all that big rust off. You can see now it's still rusty, but it's smooth, and there aren't it's not crusty and chipping off as bad. You can see it's hard to get down in those areas. Then you wash them with degreaser, get all the oils off, and then I'm just using this Corroseal. I've used this on the frame as well and had good results. It's a 1-gallon jug. It's a rust converter chemical primer. So when you put it on thick with a brush. You can spray it on too, but I brush it on. And you can see it turns this purple color when it's activating. So you can see that it's working there. If it turns brown, that means it's contaminated and you have to start over and get more of the dirt out of there. But it looks like Elmer's glue, it smells like Elmer's glue, but it works great. Brush it on really thick and do a second coat within like 30 minutes or so and you're good to go. So I'm just gonna show you a little before and after. Just went back through and got a second coat on all of them. Time to let it cure. Here we are, 24 hours later, and you can see they've cured pretty nicely. It's got that glossy, kind of a clear black finish. But now these are all primed up and ready for paint. So I'm just gonna put some gloss black paint over it. That's just what I have sitting around. I'm gonna brush it on instead of spraying it since I didn't tape up all of the chrome on the front. So I don't wanna get overspray. They look much better already. Here's what the paint looks like now. Looking good. Just got this little space heater pointed towards them because it's supposed to be above 50 degrees and it's pretty cold out there today. It's like a 45-degree day or so. I just want to make sure that it cures well. I got the truck all jacked up and taken apart. You can see it's just a disaster. I've removed the transmission lines, all 3 of them already. And I'm just gonna replace them all while I'm doing it. It's a very messy job, but you just gotta take your time and it'll work. Here's what the old ones look like. This is the only new one I have right now. I've got 2 more, the rest on their way. So just gotta size it up, make sure it looks good. And yeah, there's definitely a blockage. So this is the one that goes from the transmission to the radiator cooler. So, looks good. All right, I got the new transmission cooler lines laid out here. What you wanna do is make sure to put some tape on the ends so when you're jamming them through, you're not gonna jam up a bunch of gunk and clog it right back up again. So just put a little tape on there. Another thing you wanna do is make sure that these black caps are up near the fitting end so they don't get stuck somewhere in the middle. So I'm gonna start with the longest, hardest one first, work my way. All right, so now the second most annoying issue that I had with this truck was the ignition key. You can see I've got 2 of them on here now. The old ignition key, you'd have to put it in and you would have to wiggle it up and down and all around to get it to twist. But And so it was such a pain that it would actually be like holding me up, and so it was super annoying. So now I just swapped out the lock cylinder, and I have 2 keys. So now I've got 1 key for the door and 1 key for the ignition. And you also got to keep the old key for the spare tire lock as well. So now I've got 2 new ones. I just got to get a second fob, but it was pretty easy. All you got to do is just take off this housing here. There's clips all along the sides. You can see I kind of damaged it a little bit, but someone's been in there before. Pull this out, take these covers off, and then put the key in, turn it all the way on. Actually, yeah, disconnect the battery first. Put the key in, turn it all the way on, and there's a little pin you got to stick a pick through. Push that down at the same time as you're starting it at the start position, and then pull it out. And then all you got to do is pop in the new one, put the covers back on, and you're all set. So I'll show you how easy this is now. Alright, I just finished installing the mount to the plug, trailer wiring harness plug here, and it just fits perfectly under there. So, came with 2 self-tapping screws. You can see underneath I got the wiring headed right up over this hitch, and used some dielectric grease behind there, or use some dielectric grease here on the insides. It's nice because it comes with the 4-pin as well as the 7-pin, whereas the factory hitch only had the 7-pin, so you don't need to use a splitter anymore. Seals up nicely. Just got a rubber gasket in there. I'll put a picture of this Hopkins plug part number. But yeah, overall, pretty nice. All right, just finished installing this brand new black Craftsman Tool Box. So the bed is obviously pretty dented here, but it actually sits nice and level on there. And I just cut a little piece of foam insulation, or just like packing material, and I sandwiched it underneath that and the toolbox, just like I did on the Duramax. This truck has a truck bed liner, so it doesn't really need it, but I still like it just to give it a little more insulation and height, and a little more give for those J-bolts. So this is all it is, just random packing material. But yeah, here's the other side. You can see I got it as far back as it goes, and when you open the lid all the way, it still doesn't touch the glass, which is nice. And underneath here, there's some J-bolts. It actually comes with hardware. I didn't know that, because the last toolbox I bought, it came with a different hardware that I didn't like, but I like using J-bolts. So comes with the manual. Here's some tools that you're gonna want. Here's what I've been using for a while, actually. Figured I'd show you. This is my 1/2-inch impact drive socket set. It's by Avid Power, 18 piece with extensions. This is just my DeWalt 3/4 and 1/4-inch drive socket set. Make sure you get adapters so that you can use that ratchet with these bigger sockets. They're deep well, which is nice. I'll have links to those in the description if you're interested. Also, just a piece of foam for your knee pad, helps on the knees. But anyways, here's this toolbox. So the handles, they open up to the side. So this is locked. There's one lock on the driver's side that locks both of them. So unlock, it opens out. You can see I still gotta grease it a little bit, but opens up like that. And then in here, there's just 4 J-bolts that go down and hook up underneath here. You can see I still got some foam that I can trim off, some excess. But these back J-bolts, they have to go straight in the middle of this. They're gonna hook right up into here. And it works out that that's as far back as it goes, is the toolbox and the truck bed. So it's a little bit of a pain to line that up, but I've just got regular washer, actually big washer, regular washer it comes with, and then a regular nut. And then I have a little, it's like a plastic nylon lock washer, and then the nylon lock nut on top. So the little plastic washer I put on the bottom of this one. On the back ones, you have to give back pressure because they kind of like push on. So I couldn't do it until after I had that regular nut to hold it up, because I couldn't get my hand as far back to push it up. So that'll be fine. I just threw it on there just for fun. But just line it up, make sure you get it evenly centered in the truck bed. And then you don't want to go too tight because this is pretty thin aluminum actually, and it will bend. But I didn't have any trouble with that since I used these extra wide washers. So make sure you pick up some of those. And here's the clearance underneath. There's about a good 6 inches. So a little bit of clearance on the side. Plenty of room between the wheel wells. I don't tow a 5th wheel, but I assume if you did, you would still have plenty of room to put your hitch in here. So that's that. And came with these little vinyl strips, but I didn't use them because it's got the truck bed anyways, truck bed liner and the foam. So if you have an aluminum bed, the instructions say to use this on the hook part so that it doesn't like bore a hole through it. But yeah, it comes with 2 shocks on here. Nice little foam seal across the whole thing. Actually, this feels kind of rubberized on this side. That's foam back there and there, but this is actually rubber along the top too. But this is adjustable to where you can, when you close it, you can take out the slack. So I still need to do that. But here's the compatibility chart. If you want to pause and look at those. Full-size truck. So here's the fun part. So if I can find a link to this, I'll put that in the description as well. Craftsman, got it at Lowe's, so I'll see where the link is I can take you to, but just noticed I have a little rust back behind this window. I'll have to take care of that sometime. But yeah, that'll do it. We'll do it for this one. In future videos, I'm gonna want to tackle some more of this rust in here and work on undercoating these wheel wells, because it's not terrible, but it's just ugly. It's just ugly looking. You can kind of see where I stopped with the undercoat from last year. I just got to continue that all the way up. So, yep. Thanks for watching.